Good morning. There we are. All right. If you're watching this as a replay, excuse me, you can skip ahead like 35, 40 minutes. I just want to get on here and make sure that all the audio is coming through as clear as it can. And some of the radio stations are ready to go here. So until then, we're going to sit in BS until we're ready to go. So let me know if everything's coming through clear. And the show actually will start in quite a little while. Just getting on early. Thanks, Waylon. Appreciate the audio update and whatnot. Get out in and do bow hunting. Any bow hunting or not? That's ready. I'm in my makeshift studio in Lead, South Dakota. Got an auction today. Castile Auctions hired me to come down and sell antique stuff. So there I am. Came down to the second studio here in Lead. So there you go. Get my phone plugged in. Where's the place that you go to when you go to Deadwood? Let me know. No ivermectin. Got V8 juice. I need ivermectin, by the way. Oh, shit, that's good. Does anybody still make red beers? Is that what they call them anymore? No. All right. Let's see here. Coming up. Turkey tags still available. Get one when you can. What else is going on here? Mineral Palace. Gem for 2 deck blackjack. Really? I've never been in a Mineral Palace. I was at the Bloody Nose last night. That was pretty fun. I'm not a gambler, though. You know, that's the thing. So I was at the Waterhole Bar in Rame last Saturday. The most gambling I've ever done in my entire life. I put $20 in the pull tabs because 10% of it goes to our local fire department, which I'm on. I pulled out $600. Boom. So there you go. That's the most gambling I've done besides ranching in like 20 years. So there you have it. So John Arman's my guest here today. And as always, we're probably going to get a little bit political, so that's hopefully okay with all you guys. Maybe not Eugene. I know as a mayor, you probably don't get political at all. Not one bit. Check. Man, that's... Everybody says, Todd Mitchell gives me a hard time. He's like, you're coming into the closet. This is the best studio area I have. I got blankets and towels and everything. It just cuts down on the bounce like nobody's business here. So, like, Mobridge has the casino. Although I did stop in there and try to have supper one night. And I'll give you this at the Grand River Casino, probably one of the worst times I've ever been served in my life. And that says a lot. Because I don't go to fancy places. That's good stuff. I do have to get down there and get some fishing done, though. All right. Should we go with John early? That's like 25 minutes early. I don't know if he'd be willing to do that. We'll let him sleep in for a little bit longer. Antelope season going on. Archery, that is. Finished cutting millet yesterday. I think the best thing to do if you're going to chase any type of antelope in Slope County is get either in a semi truck going slow hauling hay or your swather or tractor and drive up the field and just step out and like shoot an antelope. That'd be like the easiest thing to do. You like dice, but you need my money to do it, Gene. Bullshit. So I like dice, not like craps, because I don't understand that game one bit. But like sitting at the bar and shaking for a drink, I'm in. And I'll tell you this, even with my money, you can still win. Just got to shake better. So the auction I have today is not going to be online. This is an older gentleman. I'll guarantee when I take this microphone with me, it's going to be like the newest microphone he's seen in like 56 years. Just don't drink. Craps is easy. Just don't drink. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Where are we going to go here? See what John's got going on here this morning. Call him early. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, it might work. Holy cow.
Good morning.
You're live on YouTube.
I'm live on YouTube. You say that right away just so no one screws up and says anything bad, don't you?
No, on YouTube, it's fine if you say anything bad. It's in 20 minutes we're on. I know I'm calling early, but I'm bored. I'm sitting there talking to the rest of YouTube, and they're like tired of listening to me already.
I'm sitting on a hill watching it rain, trying to spot something, but
it's raining?
It's raining here.
Nice.
Yep. Started raining probably in the middle of the night. Last night I was burning. I hunted, saw pretty good movement. Didn't see the buck I was looking for, but then came down, grabbed a bite to eat, and got in a tractor and put some winter wheat in. I drove all the way around, put some winter wheat in up top, and then went back across the river. So I got home about 1:00 and beat the rain, and now it's raining, so I should be good.
It's nice to see rain coming. It's dry out west, man.
Yeah, it's dry here too. This is going to be, I mean, it's just a nice steady rain. It's nothing huge, but
came down like a pile driver. I'm down in Leeds, South Dakota. I was in Deadwood last night. I got an auction here tomorrow or this morning, and came down like in sheets.
Do you got someone that does your schedule for you? Holy crap, dude!
Yeah,
I've never.
Me.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody go from one end of the spectrum to the other one as often as you do. I'm out in the pasture working cattle, fixing fence, and tomorrow I'm flying to Vegas for some kind of reunion water thing or a power company. And then I'm going to this auction, and I'm over here doing gun sales and back on the radio. It's like, holy cow, a lot of irons in the fire, dude.
You know what that means? It means I can't make enough ranching that I have to take all these other damn jobs to make a living. That's all it means. That's all it means.
That is sad. That is sad.
I am a sad person.
No, I mean, it's just sad in general. It shouldn't be that way. Well, but you know what? Just rely on the government. They'll get you out of it.
I would rather not. Yeah, the government, they'll take care of me, all right. They've done such a good job up to this point. But maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's my fault, John, for being an independent working guy that likes to actually do physical labor and not ask for everybody to pay my bills.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Maybe that's what it is. So if blackbirds have baby blackbirds and bluebirds have baby bluebirds, which species of bird does not have any little baby birds?
Doesn't have little baby birds?
Yeah.
Snow. I don't know.
The swallows. Now that's before radio joke there, YouTube. Okay, KGFX. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being ready right at that moment when I said that joke.
Nice. You're gonna get cut off the air. So
I
I was
might be.
listening.
I might be.
I don't know if I was listening to a repeat of your show or what I was listening to when you got canned from Dickinson because you used the word
Often,
what,
often,
often,
often.
because I say often. So I'm
Yeah.
apparently an uneducated teacher.
All right. So here's the thing. That's funny you bring this up. So yesterday, I get a call from Jesse Flath, and he says, "Scott, guess what? Paul Quinn passed away." And Paul Quinn was working at the same radio station I did at that time when I got fired by Senator Ray David. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
by for saying the word often instead of often. Okay, that afternoon I get an email from a lady by the name of Linda Howard, who was at that time the receptionist at that same radio station, who took over as the general manager in Baker, Montana, where I voice track a radio show and morning show over there at the same damn day. And she calls me and she says, "Hey, I'm the new general manager over here, and I know your voice track the morning show for us, and I appreciate that." She said, "So, what's been going on?" I said, "Well, Paul Quinn passed away at age of 74." I said, "She's like, no way." I'm like, "Yeah." She talking to the owner of the radio station out of Billings, Montana, and he's like, "Well, make sure we'd really like to introduce you to the guy that voice tracks the morning program, Scott Bachmeyer." And she's like, "Oh, I know Scott. He's the only person I know that got fired from a radio station for saying the word often."
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, he just didn't like me. What do you do?
Yeah, apparently. 'Cause that sure is minor.
Not back then. And I was required to call him Senator Ray David.
Really.
Yeah. You couldn't call him Mr. David, couldn't call him Ray, couldn't call him the boss. It was Senator David. That's it.
Hmm. Oh, it must be something special, I guess.
Oh, he was special,
Hey,
all right.
hey, what are you thinking about this? I was just listening to the radio yesterday about the race between in Verhoeven and Becker.
Yeah. You're the sixth person that asked me this.
But you know what? I don't know Becker very well. I mean, I don't know him. I don't know what he stands for exactly.
Yeah.
I don't. In Hoven, I've just known through the years is he seems like a nice guy, but I don't know enough about. Like I said, I think a lot of these guys are just government career politicians, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
All right. So you want my opinion? Here's my opinion.
Yeah.
So Hoven's done an all right job. I really don't have anything against Hoven except him supporting some of the land purchases across the state that are probably not in the country's best interest.
Yeah.
That's not probably the right reason to exclude him from everything, but it is for me. Okay. And I'll tell you this right now. Of all the three, you got Hoven, Kramer, and Armstrong. Two of the three will answer their phone call if I call them on my cell phone personally. And Rick Becker will too. So that goes a long way with me when I just have something to discuss or bring up or anything like that. Two of the three recognize that I have some type of radio program that goes statewide that they'll answer my phone call. Hoven won't. So
I tried to call Kelly the other day, and I haven't got heard back from him, but I don't know if it's the same cell number that I had before. I think it is.
Yeah. And
because I was going to ask him about a few things too. He's gotten back to me before.
Yeah. And I think the longer they're in, the harder it is to get hold of them.
Yeah.
I do think that. I don't know. I mean, I think Rick has. I think he's got some good stuff going on. I'd like to see him have a chance at it. But like with any politician, once you're in there for too long, you start becoming part of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only thing. I think term limits in one shape or form. We were discussing that and arguing that eight-year term limits. I'm like, it's not quite long enough for them to really establish some good on the federal side. I think it should be a little bit longer, but I do think there should be term limits at some point. And
Yeah.
I mean, and that's tough because you get some people, like we had, you get a guy in there that's really, really good, and he's doing everything you like. You want to keep him in there, and then you might have to switch him out for somebody else. I know, I get it, but right now I'm 50-50 on Hoven because there's a few things that he's done that it's just not farmer and rancher friendly. It's not the correct way. I think that we should be looking into the land
Well,
purchases or anything like that.
I was just listening too about what's this freaking pipeline they're talking about with this carbon capture
Oh
bullshit
God.
and the eminent
It's
domain.
just dumbest goddamn thing I've ever seen. All right, so we got to sequester carbon, and it's a whole new thing that they're making a shit ton of money off of, and they're bringing it into North Dakota where they're going to pipeline this carbon in and pump it down into the ground. Right? They don't realize that plants need carbon to grow.
Well, yeah,
That's
the
plant
whole
food.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
and
that's the
everybody's
way the
looking at
world
this.
works.
We have too much carbon. Carbon's a bad thing. Bull. Carbon is actually a good thing. It helps the species and plants grow. That's what they need. That's their job, is what they do. So
Yeah, and then
I
they
have a
give
little
us
issue with this
oxygen.
whole thing. I really do have an issue with that. But
Yeah,
with
it's
anything, if you tell people that it's bad long enough, they believe it. And most of the people are urbanized guys and gals, and they're going to believe that. There's no doubt. Just like, so I was listening to there's a show out here. It's called Voices of Montana, little 1 hour talk show. And this guy had on this dude that invented, and he's doing electric semis. And he had him on, and this guy, and he's like, okay, so explain to me. He says, so what kind of horsepower are you talking about? What kind of longevity do we have in a day? And he says, oh, it's a 250 horsepower semi, and it can last up to 8 to 10 hours. And the recharging time is about 14 hours. And this guy on the radio is like, oh my God, 250 horsepower. Holy cow.
I was gonna
I'm
say
like,
my freaking
250.
Rangers. My Rangers got 250
Yeah.
horsepower.
It's like 250. That my pickup has more than that, and it still struggles with a 40-foot trailer. I'm like, a semi should have at least 400 to 500 horsepower, if not more. Like, are you kidding me? What are you hauling with this semi? But everybody's believing in it, and they're believing that these to charge up these vehicles, that's free, by the way.
Yeah, free. It costs just as much or more than gasoline does.
Yep. And it's not nearly as efficient. How would you like to be an
No.
over-the-road truck driver, like in California? There's a lot of good semis coming out of there in the marketplace right now. How would you like to be on there? And you can drive for 8 hours. So the law is for the Department of Transportation, I think you can drive, 10 to 12 hours, then you got to take an 8-hour break, right? And then you can go again. Well, you can't even do that. You can drive 8 hours. You got to take a 14-hour break to let your semi packs, charge up with 250 horsepower. So if you're going to be pulling through the mountains or anything like that, you're probably, from 8-hour drive, you're probably going to get 4 hours going heavy, and pulling that load. So it's just a terrible idea.
These people have no, that's why I was saying that the reality of things, decisions are made at the top, even in education. Sometimes I feel someone tells me what to do with a child. They've never met that child. They've never worked with that child. They've never been in the situation. They don't know the family, but they're making decisions. And it's in everything. It's like, it would be like someone from, 1,000 miles away telling you what you're supposed to be doing with your ranch, and they've never been to your ranch.
Oh, and there's plenty of people doing that. I've never watched a single episode of Yellowstone ever. And but I will give it one thing. It at least brought light to the ranching industry. And I have met more people that drive out they drive this way, John, and they come through the Black Hills or the Badlands or whatever, and they're headed over to see where it's filmed. And every single person said, we never knew anything about it until now. And I'm like, well, I don't think you really know much about it watching the damn show, but I don't know that because I've never watched the series, you know?
It's and it's an entertaining one. I said the what's nice about it is that you can relate to guys like Rip who kicks butt, and then I mean it's about a generation and then some of someone trying to hang on to their land.
Yeah.
The battle, even these big ranches, it's like a yearly thing whether they're going to still have the ranch or not.
Yeah.
You know, so there. I mean, there's some stuff it's hard to watch sometimes because you're like that's not the way it is, but for the most part, it's not a bad show. It's entertaining, and guys got to remember that.
Yeah. It's made for entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's made for entertainment. So when you watch guys swinging a rope and you're like, okay, that guy's never swung a rope in his life. Those are the
That's
things
what people think when I'm in the branding pen every spring too.
That's what. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking you probably can handle yourself a little bit better than some of these guys. So, but then they got some real cowboys on there, that
Yeah.
were horse trainers and stuff like that. And so
Scott Boldy here, he says, looks like you're in the closet. Are you telling us something? Damn right I'm in the closet. Goddamn guy.
Oh gosh.
It's my studio way. Look at there. I got a snowboard in the back. I used to be cool, man. I got a snowboard. You want to see an old guy go down a hill really fast? I can't even say a mountain down here. You want to see him go down a hill really fast and wreck stuff and then go have a PBR afterwards done? That's this guy. Did you just hang up on me, John? Yep. Look at that guy. The reason I'm in a closet, Scott, is because it's the only place I have good internet and less bounce. I got towels and blankets and all this crap around here, so that's a deal. Trust me. Not in the closet. Not kind of not. No, that's not that. Are you back?
Yeah, somehow I hit the wrong button.
Happens when you get over 50.
Oh gosh, you ain't kidding. Hit a lot of wrong buttons. I was looking at the radar. This might be here for a while.
Good. We need like a 3-4 day soaker in my country.
Yeah, like I said, we'll take anything right now. Like I said, it was just everything was getting. I mean, we still had hints of green underneath, but it was dry because we haven't had rain. Well, as long as you guys have since July, really. Yeah. I mean,
July 4th and 5th is the last one we had. Scott says, I thought you did something wrong to piss off your wife, and that's why you're in the closet. I woke up. Okay, so that's one thing. That'll piss her off. Really doesn't take much.
I was watching on Facebook the other day, and the guy's like,
did you see the guy attack me on my Facebook post?
No. What do
you need to go back and look at my stuff.
Okay, on just on your Facebook. Mm-hmm. What was it? Okay,
I posted a picture of a guy parked on the wrong side of the road on the gravel road, yeah. And I said, "This is going to be fun hauling hay today, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Basically it. And this one guy just went off on me, man. And I know why he did it. And there's a long story behind it. Actually, it's not a long story. His grandma and grandpa right now are the ones that I'm taking over the lease on the ranch that they have. Uh-huh. And he is pissed about that. So he took the time to go on there and just lash out at me. And he made it all about hunting. And I'm like, and I never even said anything about hunting at all. And just said it's going to be fun to haul hay with people like this, right? And yeah, he made it all about that. I didn't even respond to him.
Yeah, geez.
So it's fun. It's fun. And I get it. He's the grandson. He thought he was going to get in all that whole thing and the whole works. And I get it, but he did not. So he took the time. He took it as an opportunity to be a keyboard warrior. And just let him talk. Let him speak on what's on his mind, man.
Never understood that.
Quarter inch of
You
rain
know,
so far. What's the new credit card codes going to do to the online stores? Oh, yeah. Have you heard
what's
that?
that?
So the latest thing is if you're going to purchase ammunition and use a credit card, they'll be able to track where you, who and what you're doing and where you are
Yeah.
for guns and ammo sales. That's the latest thing that's coming through. And the Sheriff's Association of America has joined into helping PETA and the HSUS in their cause. So we have a lot to talk about today.
What the hell?
Stations, 7 o'clock, 700 quad zeros coming up. And Mark, 6 minutes of showtime, John.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's see here if I can pull that up here. Hopefully this doesn't cut you off. National Sheriff's Association joined up with animal extreme groups, the Humane Society of the United States. So, yeah. And that's the thing. You look at some of these national groups, which our local sheriffs might be a part of, right? Who knows? They might be part of that.
Right.
I would suspect if you're part of if you're a local sheriff, you're probably part of the National Sheriff's Association. I don't know.
Right.
And their funds are going in to help, try to get rid of hunting, agriculture, and everything else.
Are people that stupid?
Absolutely, they are that stupid. Yes.
The sad thing about it is that they'll destroy our country and then we'll have to rebuild it because you can't go without agriculture. You can't go without ranching. You can't go without fossil fuel. I was listening, they want all this green energy, and I'm fine with, like I said, little steps, but it ain't doing what they're saying it's doing. You got China building like freaking record number of coal-fired plants,
And
we're worried
buying
about
all of the coal from America and sending it over there.
right.
Yeah.
And so, and we got a dipshit in office that's selling our oil, selling our coal, giving China breaks. It's like, holy cow, and what are we at? 2.5 million illegal immigrants across the border, and then another 300,000 to 400,000 that we haven't even, that get through. And and we're wondering when the next 9/11 is going to happen. I mean,
well, did you see? You seen that they flew in a whole bunch of these illegals into Martha's Vineyard,
that's the greatest thing in the world.
And
I
then
love that.
That lady's like, we don't have the infrastructure to support these people. That was a big thing this morning on news. I'm like, well, do you think Texas and Arizona does?
And then like CNN and those guys are saying they're playing with human lives. It's like, hey,
they're using them as pawns for the election.
Right. He's giving them a choice. He's not making them get on the plane. Hey,
no,
you guys want to get on a plane? I'll give you a free ticket here. Here's a free ticket for a bus ride.
Yeah.
And it's like, so they're just going wherever they want and they're just helping them out, being friendly. And I'm like, until the problem's at your own backyard and back door, you're not going to do anything.
They're coming.
And I just heard what they said the other day.
Just look at what you're seeing in Bismarck. Look what you're seeing already there. I mean, there's Somali pirates all over the damn place, So maybe that's not politically correct, but that's not me. We're not on this. We got 3 minutes to showtime before I have to be politically correct.
What's politically correct mean?
It means I can't say Somali pirates on the radio station.
Uh-oh. Call them.
I don't know. That's probably not the right word. I don't know how they're going to replace electric motors and combines or your tractors. Oh, they're going to try. The governor of Florida had a press conference yesterday about that. It was really good. He did a good job. Yeah. Jesse, no, actually, did she? So Jesse took his daughter for the first time Youth Day yesterday.
Yep.
And he said, if she gets something, I'll send you pictures. And the last text I got was him yesterday afternoon. Says, I can't find my silver bullet fire extinguisher. And that's it. And he didn't send no damn photos or nothing.
You start a fire?
No. That's how when you gut out your deer, You hang it
Yeah.
up, and you take that silver bullet, and you get flushing things out, man. It's so much easier.
Oh,
That's what I use.
and I did not know that. I don't get my deer hardly anymore.
Just field dress them right away, bone them out in the field.
Yeah, yep, I just bone them up, bring them back, and bone them out, and then they
Yeah.
don't get bloody. They don't make a mess.
Here come the
You know.
pictures. Oh,
Okay, I got some deer spotted. I gotta look at here. If I can see through the fog.
station 705, 70500 stations on mark. All right, John, 60 seconds to showtime here, buddy.
All right.
Looks like Karina made a good shot. Blood across the highway.
Well, good for her.
Yeah. You know, look at these kids, man. It's so much fun to watch these kids get their first one. It really is.
It is, as long as they're not shooting my big deer.
Yeah, I think everybody should have a doe tag for the first 3-4 tags in their life.
I do too. I'm not against it. I'm not.
Right.
And again,
hold on, 20 seconds. We're gonna go quiet here for the station, John. Sorry to cut you off there. So stand by.
No, that's fine, buddy.
All right, stations. Yeah, it's starting up in 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. I'm Scott Bachmeyer here, broadcasting this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm in Leeds, South Dakota, and there's an auction down here. I'm going to have a little fun down this way. Taking the weekend off because I got the last of the millet down. I finally parked my swather for the summer, so that's kind of fun. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest. John, good morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, buddy. Just sitting on a hill trying to find some deer in the rain. And I like the part of the in the rain.
In the rain. You and I were sitting there talking to the pre-show that we really haven't had rain since the first part of July, anything substantial. So let's hope it rains, man. It'd be nice to have a wet fall, wouldn't it?
It would be. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of fuel on the ground, which makes the guy a little bit nervous during hunting season.
A lot of fuel. Have you been seeing? Everybody's been calling me a lot of the youth takes. We'll talk about this. Jesse's daughter, first-time hunter, got her first deer last night. Got a nice white-tailed doe. I and Jesse can vouch for me on this too. There's not many deer that we're seeing around my place at the ranch. He helped me fence, and we went through probably 4 or 5 sections fencing. We saw 3 elk, 1 muley doe, and 1 muley buck, and he arrowed the buck. And that's all we seen the entire day. We're not seeing the numbers, but the Game and Fish say that they increased the numbers for our unit, and we're really not seeing that. What are you seeing in your unit in the north side of 3F2?
Well, you know, we were just talking about that the other day. So I'm seeing a substantial amount of less deer. I mean, you're talking very noticeable, and I worry the average sportsman, and I'm not picking on anybody. They need to talk to the landowners. They need to talk to the ranchers. If they're not seeing the deer, then maybe they shouldn't be filling their tag. And I worry about that because we didn't cut a lot of tags back in some of these areas. And the one I don't understand is that, south over by Levi and stuff, where they increased the numbers, and Levi lost 80% of his deer. Levi hasn't even barely put up a trail camera because there's nothing there.
Well, he's been spending so much time working overtime, making those big bucks all the time, instead of chasing the small bucks.
Yeah, he said there's just, and it really takes the wind out of your sail. And I just worry that if we have a high success season again, the numbers just aren't there. And I apologize to some of the youth hunters that we have. And I just told myself, I just can't do it. We just aren't seeing the does. When I see 10 does instead of 100 does, it's hard for me to let someone shoot a doe because that doe, that's 3 deer right there. You can have twins. And so our numbers are definitely down.
And that's hard because I love youth hunters. And I had a young gentleman call me, and his parents called me. He told him to call me, and he did the right thing. He gave me a call and says, he asked if he could come up and hunt if I had anything going on. And I'm like, there's nothing up here. I hate to say that, and I hate to be that guy, like everybody says, oh, you're just saying that so you can keep them all to yourself. No, I'd let any youth hunter come on, but it's a waste of time if you're going to come up and look for anything because we really don't have the deer this year. We really don't, and which is unfortunate, because these youth guys, their first tag, well, like the mentored tag in South Dakota, same thing. Their first one, you want them to get out there and have that good experience.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I do feel bad, because last year, even though when we had, my first youth hunters, we didn't have the die off yet. My second one was during the rifle season, and I had to, we were lucky that he could shoot a mule deer because, last year we didn't shoot a whitetail off of our property with our rifles.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Some people understand that we have some neighbors to the east of us, and I haven't seen anybody bow hunting or anything because they saw the number, that was lost. And then we got people in the west who are like, "Oh, we see deer everywhere," and I'm like, "They're not down here. These are people that just come in." And again, trust me when I say the numbers are drastically down. So if you're gonna if we're gonna shoot all these deer, it's gonna be tough in the next couple years. And I'm still worried about this year. We haven't gotten through the EHD part of it.
No, it's been dry since the first part of July, and there's definitely a chance of that midge coming back. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So like I said, I've never wished for a frost. I know we got close down here, and it looks like maybe in this week again. But like I said, it's all part of Mother Nature, I guess. But we seem that we can help it or hurt it, and I think there's going to be people out there that are just going to try to fill tags just because they're like, I got a $30 tag, and I'm not going to let it go to waste.
$30.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never went out of state and hunted, and evidently, have they?
No, like I said, and I understand it. I mean, some people they feel it's their right to get out there and they got a tag and they should be able to hunt. And I wish it was that simple. But again, as a landowner and as North Dakota being 96% private land, there's some areas that got deer and there's some areas that don't. So some of these youth hunters may, if I have a recommendation to them, I would be hustling out east, trying to get 50, 60 miles east of Bismarck, where you get out of that river valley, and their deer populations are great,
Yeah.
Not out west, because anywhere along the Missouri, the Heart, the Little Missouri, all those, the Cannonball, it's been devastating.
How different is it hunting when you get out to the flat grounds of eastern North and South Dakota? I mean, I hunted out in the Brookings side of things. You can see forever out there. There's no doubt about it. A lot of corn and beans out there. But what kind of different hunting techniques do you have to use when you go over to the east side of the state, John?
Well, I think you really, like you said, you can see forever. So if you can find any kind of vantage point and glass and use your spotter, a lot of these deer are going to be congregated in the slough areas. I know guys that, that's one of the things that they talk about is that, a lot of these deer are bedding in these sloughs and these small pockets of trees and stuff, because mainly it's all agriculture out there.
Yeah.
And even in the corn there'll be, but you got to look for that habitat, and you got to really plan things out, because there's not a lot of terrain that you can use to your advantage. So I think getting on a vantage point, spotting them and watching them for a couple of days, maybe know where they're going and get to that spot and intercept them. Little tougher, kind of style of hunting, a little different than we're used to out here. We're used to sitting on hills and having draws and coulees everywhere. So out there, and again, there's different spots. You go out into that Valley City area and some of those hills, and up north and by Grand Forks, a lot of different terrain that you don't think would be out there. It's kind of like the elk herd out there by Cavalier in that area. Some pretty country in some of those places.
Yeah, you get up in that northeast area, they got all kinds of gorges and heavy timber and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've always said I wish that I had more time so I could go hunt some of these areas, just to go drive around and look at them, because you get kind of in a rut, and I stay in my area and kind of in what I know.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do that. There's no doubt. And that's not a bad thing, because if you know your area, you're kind of a little bit more comfortable. And you can set up. A buddy of mine here, we'll talk about this on the other side of the break. He's been putting up deer blinds, the good ones, the expensive ones, all over his property because he, unlike a lot of people, did not get hit with EHD last year. And he's helping out the youth. And between archery and rifle hunting, he's trying to get more and more of those hunters out there and taking those whitetail. But we're up against our first break here. John Arman's my guest on from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. If you have questions, unlike the regular show, I am doing this on a broadcast on the remote side. So you're going to have to text me either through the YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio, or you can text me at 701-425-6651. Text me your questions, comments, concerns. We'll be back right after these messages.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pifer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pifer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number one in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Piper's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Piper's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors here on a Saturday morning edition at 20 minutes past the hour. Good to have you along. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is with me. John, are you ready for some questions?
I am
Are you?
always ready for questions, as long as they're not dumb questions.
There's no such thing as a dumb question, John. I was told that many years ago. Did you know that?
I say it all the time as
Yeah.
a teacher.
This one, if you have questions, comments, you can text me because I'm on the road today. 701-425-6651. I'm in Lead, South Dakota here today. So if you're in the area, it's the only light down here in the condos. Come on up. How many fawns, John, die because the doe gets shot early in the season? You know, I was talking about that with the kids' tags, and therein lies the question. You know, some of these fawns are still nursing.
Right.
Do they die? Or, I mean, did the strong survive and the rest don't? How many do you think actually die if somebody's out there shooting these fawns this early, or the does this early?
I really, that's a good question. The only thing I can say is that anytime that I've hunted, bow hunting, rifle hunting, I err on the side of caution, and I'll never shoot a doe with a fawn next to it.
Right.
I mean, I just don't do it. One thing, I feel like a terrible person because I'm like, it just
Killing
doesn't feel right.
Killing the mama. Yeah, I hear you.
Right. It doesn't feel right. And, why not give them that chance of survival to live without a chance of dying, They don't have that mom to warn them. They don't have that mom for protection. So there, there's a lot that goes into it. And again, I understand we want to get our youth hunting, but when I was a kid, there was no special season. We hunted during the regular season.
Yeah.
And what was so bad about that? I love kids. I'm a school teacher. I've been doing it 31 years, but I really feel that we do a disservice to kids when we give them everything on a platter. You got to have skin in the game. And I've always said it, and I'll say it again. I'm against the early season hunts. And people say, well, it's cold out. It's like, that's part of hunting. That's part of being out there. Move it back, give the deer a little bit more of a chance. And, I talked to a young lady that actually works for the Game and Fish. And like she said, she does the 3 R's. That recoup, retention, I forget the name of the program, but we put so much emphasis on deer hunting. What about squirrel hunting? What about rabbit hunting? What about grouse hunting? What about pheasant hunting? What about duck hunting? Everything is kind of based off of, whether you're a good hunter or not,
game,
on the big game. So again, people can call me selfish or whatever, but again, I'm looking at, and as I recall, when I asked the Game and Fish, so when we have numbers that are affected, like CWD, blah, blah, but EHD and winners, we don't take away our youth tags. So if there's 10,000 kids and want a deer tag, they get it, no matter what the numbers are. And if I'm wrong on that, they can correct me. But So is that good management there? Is it all about, I just don't see. We're not losing hunters in North Dakota.
Well, I was just going to ask you. So let's turn the tables here and let's say, okay, these kids don't get a tag. They don't get their first tag, or they don't get this. And is that do you feel that, did they cater to the kids to get them interested and keep them interested in hunting? Has it changed that much since we were kids, John? And I think it has. I mean, we used to get the day of school off for the opening day of deer season. Has things changed so much that we have to try to retain kids by giving them something and guaranteeing them a deer?
Let me ask you this: when have you ever given anything to anybody? Whether it's a free pair of gloves or a meal on the street, and it's done good. I'm just old school, man. It's like skin in the game. Be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution, type deal. And again, I'm not saying that these kids can't have tags, but let them hunt during the regular season.
I got you.
Like I said, if they want these, these youth seasons, do we have to give it to them where we're shooting them in September? Especially the buck tags. That changes things. That takes some pretty good deer out of the gene pool for breeding and things like that. It's a high success rate.
Yeah.
And again, I just don't think that we have to. I think kids are more resilient than we give them credit for. And if a kid wants to hunt, he's going to hunt. If a kid doesn't want to hunt, and I've watched kids, take their damn phone out of their hand and maybe they will hunt. Because I can't tell you all the youth hunters that I've ever had come down. Most of them shoot their deer and they get on their phone and they just look at their phone the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So, things have changed, but I don't think by giving them something on a platter that's going to make them, be a hunter for the rest of their life.
Text message comes in, says, I agree with you guys. Eliminate your early youth season, deer season altogether. Let them hunt with the regulars. Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm not, people are like, you're selfish, you're mean. No, I'm not. I'm saying give them the same opportunity that everybody else has. It's being part of deer camp, being part of things, and or even like I said, push it back a little bit further. It's just one of those deals. I just don't know why North Dakota is growing in numbers. I mean, we can't even get enough instructors to help these kids. So
for the hunter safety classes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't mind having like an early pheasant season and then an early waterfowl for the kids. I think that we need to put more emphasis on some of these other things than just big game.
It's interesting you say that because that leads up to another question that I have. Should we be hunting deer during the rut? I mean, everybody says, well, you have a better chance. It's about management. We want to hit this a certain percentage of success rate in and around each unit. But are we taking away the breeding stock, which, we are in some shape, form, we are doing that. Are we taking away too much of the breeding stock or not? Because, I mean, we still see the deer numbers replenish after a few years after EHD and everything. So should we be hunting after the rut instead of during the rut?
I think it's one of those deals. You look at Montana; they go from October.
Yeah, it's a long season.
So it does take its toll on deer, and some of these places like Iowa that have shotgun seasons, and some of these other places that don't have them during the rut, they're going to have bigger deer. There's no question. And again, I would be for it. I love hunting during the rut. There's no question. As a hunter, I love it. So I guess it's what you're looking for. Are you looking for more deer, bigger deer? And that's the thing, is where the management part comes in. No one manages deer better than the private landowner. I don't care what anybody says. The government doesn't do it. They don't manage your money better than you do. They don't manage anything better than a private person can. So, as far as hunting during the rut, like I said, I would go for maybe a shorter season, maybe, not such a long season for deer hunting. But again, I know people are going to get mad when I say that. We've been the way we have been for a long time. And so trying to change that, it's not even going to ever happen.
You brought up squirrel hunting. I get a text message that says, my squirrel hunters, they come out to my place. All are my age. I have no new squirrel hunters in their 20s or teens that come out squirrel hunting anymore. And I see the same thing in the western side of where I live for grouse hunters. This year is probably the first year in 12 years I've seen some younger grouse hunters. And I think they're just doing that to train their dogs. But squirrel, grouse. Some of these crow season, mourning dove season, John. Are they just everybody's just looking to go after the pheasant, big game, or is the smaller game kind of a thing of the past?
Well, I think you see that. And what I have found is that, like dove hunting, when we go duck hunting at a friend's place, we go out in the afternoon dove hunting. It's an absolute blast.
Yeah.
And they taste good. And grouse hunting, when we were kids, granted, we don't grouse hunt much now, but our grouse population is way down out here.
Oh.
But
ours
again,
is up, yeah. Oh, John,
yeah,
we'll talk about this on the second half here. I'm sorry to cut you
Okay.
off, but anyway, we're up against the next break here, folks. If you have questions, comments, make sure to get them into me. 701-425-6651 is the number. Dakota Prairie Outdoors with John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. We'll be back right after these messages.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Motrest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Piper's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Piper's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to Pifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number one in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Pfeiffer's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Pfeiffer's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to Pfeiffer's.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and reporting this time from the Black Hills of South Dakota. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures is my guest here as we continue through the second half of the program. John, are you ready for some more text messages?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bring them on.
And this is the reason I want to bring this one up right away so soon out of the break is because it's exactly what you and I were talking about on the break. This gentleman says not only he got 3/4 inch of rain so far, so that's pretty cool.
Where's that at?
It's a good question.
That's okay.
Some of these numbers, they text me. That's all right. But anyway,
All right.
he says we tried to manage the hunting on our ranch and let some of the better genetics grow up, and because of that, he is looked at as the bad guy who won't let people hunt. And he says, but I don't care. And there's the thing that, there's a fine line between some of the farmers and ranchers that have issues with deer coming in and depredation on crops or hay yards, and those guys not letting anybody hunt. And then there's the ones that truly trying to make the genetics better on their property, and therein lies the question. A lot of these states, John, have it's got to have 4 points on each side. And depending on where you go, you can call it an 8-pointer. Some people call it a 4x4. Some people call it a 3-point with brow tines because they don't count the brow tines, right? Do the states and do we in the Dakota Territory need to look at having a certain minimum amount of points before you can harvest or shoot or kill a deer? Would that help the genetics? Do you think that would help?
I'm gonna say no, because here's my philosophy on that. I've got 8-pointers that are 5.5 years old that are 100 inches.
They're not going to get any better, are they? Yeah.
Right. So, you can. It's one of those deals. I think when I tell people to kill, if you kill a spike, that spike could have the best genes, in the world, or it could have the worst genes in the world. The only way you can manage deer is really by age, which it takes a little bit of doing.
Yeah. And
they got to get, you just don't, it's like watching a teenage boy or girl develop. It's like all of a sudden, boom, they blow up and they got muscles and everything. And these deer are the same way. So that point restriction, it's kind of like a slot limit or that kind of thing. I don't think in deer it would work. I think more of just the education of people shooting young deer versus older deer. And again, if that's what you want, I want them. I like seeing big deer. It gets me excited. If I got big, healthy deer, that means I should have a good population of deer. And that's the key to everything is if you got big, strong population, they're going to fight off EHD and other diseases better. So I don't know how we would do that. Maybe on a mule deer side of things. But again, we got 3-pointers that need to be shot, if they don't.
Yeah. So let's look at it this way. A person really doesn't know what that deer is going to develop into until they're, 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah.
And are we allowing, if you want to keep deer and want to work on your genetics, those deer, if they're inferior in genetics, they're still breeding.
Yep.
So are you actually helping or hurting that herd to try to gain the better genetics if you let that deer become 3-4 years old before you realize what it actually can be.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's
if
the
it
thing
truly is only
it's
a 2x2 mule deer and you're looking at it going, well, we're going to give it another year, see what it's going to be. He has already bred 20 does.
yeah, and I guess I don't know enough about genetics that I think from looking at our deer out here, we got a couple different. We got good brow tines, which is really nice to see.
Yeah.
We've got some boxy racks and some high racks, and you just don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that it's kind of like humans. You got some that are going to be studs, and you got some that are going to be duds, and it's no different with deer. And I think that it's one of those deals you kind of just got to pay attention. But again, no deer is going to reach its potential getting shot at 2.5, 3.5 years old.
No.
But again, if people are happy with that, and I struggle with it because we get a lot of our neighbors that shoot deer that we pass, and it can be frustrating at times. But I learned my lesson because I put something out, and I probably told you this on Facebook one time. That I said it's too bad that this guy shot this deer because it was a nice up and comer. It was the guy's biggest deer, and he came up to me. He said, "I'm sorry for shooting that deer," and I felt like an idiot. So
Yeah.
one man's junk is another man's treasure type deal. So.
Yeah. A person's got to look at that. I mean, a trophy is in the eye of the beholder. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. And I guess the biggest thing when we talk about all this stuff, with deer and everything, especially in North Dakota, just remember North Dakota is 96% private land. So without the private land, the ranchers, the landowners, the guys taking care of it, there's no hunting anywhere. And the Game and Fish can say whatever they want about you don't own the deer, but there's an old saying that possession is 9/10 the law. And if people want to continue hunting and having a great heritage we have in North Dakota, we need to, look at the landowners, look at the ranchers, show them a little bit of respect. And you're going to run into guys that are not very nice, but you still, it's kind of like the customer is always right. You just got to kind of bite it sometimes because these guys are the ones that give us the opportunity to hunt, and I'm no different. Even though I have land, I get to hunt a lot of different places, and I don't get to hunt those places by being a jerk. Show them respect and work with them, help them. And, that way your kid's going to have a place to hunt and everybody's going to have a place to hunt as long as you, look at things and treat people the way you want to be treated.
So do you think South Dakota is ahead of us, ahead of the North Dakota side when, because all land is assumed posted in South Dakota?
Well,
you think they're ahead of? I think they are. I mean, everybody I talk to down here, landowners and everything, they say the same thing. I mean, they had a fight in the western side of South Dakota years ago, and it came to a head-to-head, and they got down on the table and he started talking, and they figured things out. And they work with the local game fishing parks in South Dakota. I think they're a little bit ahead.
Well, I do, and I think that when we look at if we want to look at the CWD and the baiting issue and all that it should be you got to talk to these landowners. This is their land. This is again 9/10 the law. These animals are on their place. You start pissing landowners off, they start shutting land down. Where do you have to hunt? I mean, there's a reason why landowners out in the western part of the state have elk and get tags and things like that, because they muscle a little bit more. And again, I'm not saying right or wrong, but you got to work with these landowners. And, at least we're doing the no trespassing on the app, which is even better. I mean, it's a step closer, which, I put ours into, and it's nice that now I can prosecute. We're not, worrying about whether I got posted signs everywhere.
Yeah.
So again, that I've said that to the Game and Fish. They should have, a dozen guys that are land specialists that go and meet ranchers and just say, hello, how can I help you? What can we do? What are you seeing? That should be their full-time job, is driving around meeting landowners.
Yeah. Well, a couple of comments that I should have been on this a little bit better, John, but I wasn't. Anyway, on YouTube, some of the comments here. I think that Western Sully County doesn't have great deer either this year. We had some die off as well. Forgotten how long of a drive it was from Pierre to Bowman. He's going to Bowman all the way from Pierre area. And, Eric's, he races race cars, and there's a guy in Bowman, North Dakota that builds engines, and he's on his way that way. So I wish I was back there. I'd buy him a beer. But anyway, he said it's all about incoming money to the state, not about management of the animals anymore. Also, he says, my niece is hunting doves with a bow and arrow. Some good luck at 13 years old. And you don't see a lot of that happening anymore. I did that with my recurve bow. I went pheasant hunting with my recurve bow for a few years, and I enjoyed the heck out of it, John. And then Waylon also says he agrees with you that youth season should start about 2 weeks before the adult season starts.
And, I mean, and again, like I said, I don't mean to be that selfish guy. It's not about being selfish. I look at this the way we have changed over the years. And again, we talked on the break about it's kind of like getting that participation ribbon, the gold medal for doing nothing. And I want these kids. I had more fun taking youth hunters out last year, but I just think that we could do it at maybe a different time, and again, if they want that buck tag is there for them to use during the regular season, not early season.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's a make or break deal, is getting a buck, whether you're going to stay a hunter or not. Whether you stay a hunter or not is way you're raised and, what you see with your family and the mentorship that you have. So maybe put a little bit more time into the mentoring and training these kids and getting them out and getting that phone out of their hand.
Yeah. Another guy says one idea that a lot of people don't think of is you don't need to shoot a deer every single year. And I agree. Like
I do.
You do?
I do. Absolutely.
Last year I didn't because of the die-off. Another one, Tim cuts in. He says, you raised some interesting aspects to harvesting game. He said that in terms of priority, are you hunting for meat, to control the population, or for a trophy, or just for the sport? And, for that, that's a good one because I would say, like last year, I didn't take anything because of the die-off of EHD. I knew the numbers were down. I knew it was terrible last year, and I just butchered a beef. So my freezer was full. This year, I was instructed by my wife that I need to get out and do some hunting because our wild game portion of the freezer is pretty much depleted. For me, it's a meat. It's a meat thing. Controlling the population, not so much because, so I take one deer and one pronghorn, right? Because I get gratis tags. For a trophy, I'm not going to pass up a trophy. There's no doubt about that. But I don't specifically go out and hunt just for a trophy. And for sport, I do it for sport. I do that. I guess. I don't know. How about you, John?
I think it's mine are all tied together. So I love wild game. There's never an animal I shoot that doesn't get eaten, whether it's my family or a family I donated to. Feed the Hungry program, for us doing a TV show. And even if I wasn't doing a TV show, I like hunting other places. So on a good year, I might shoot 6 or 7 animals. And I like the sport of it. I like the meat. And when I say I'm a trophy hunter, I try to shoot the biggest animal I can in that area for the land, that type of deal. So at our place, I'm way more selective just because I got more time here.
Yeah.
So mine are all together. I don't think you can just separate them one or the other, because most of us, I'm down here, planting winter wheat at 1 a.m. because I'm trying to keep these animals fed. I like the whole game. I like everything from the scouting, the planting, the working the land. Everything is a part of me. It's ingrained in me, and that's why I do it. And I can't go. I shouldn't say I need to shoot an animal every year, but if I didn't get to hunt and sit and have that cat and mouse game and try to figure things out, I'd go stir crazy or be sitting in a bar all day.
Yeah. And trophies in the eye of the beholder, right? So for me, if I don't see any nice bucks or anything that either it's got to be a junk buck or a really big one. And the days of seeing those big deer are kind of gone. But my trophy, and this might sound silly, is I really enjoy trying to find that one doe that she's dry. She doesn't have a fawn with her. That old lead doe that she just doesn't have anything going for her anymore. That's kind of my trophy hunt. If I see that, I'm going to take her. I will. I have no problem doing it. Another text comes in. It says, "Hey, Scott, we as hunters need to work and hunt together." that couldn't be more true in the life. I mean, you see, and I tell you this all the time, John. Hunters are the worst people against other hunters.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We are selfish, and like I said, we have our own agendas. And again, I have an agenda, but I try to work with everybody. I mean, 'cause I have my opinion, but I try to state it nicely so I don't look like a a jackwagon. And I'm if I think I'm wrong or I made a mistake, I will apologize. Because I don't know everything. I have just I'm no different than anybody else out there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like you said, it all depends on what you're looking for, and that's why I think archery hunters make you a better rifle hunter. I think if you hunt predators, I think it makes you a better hunter. And there's no doubt in my mind that the more time you get out in the field, it's just going to make you better at what you do. Now, a lot of
Oh,
people don't have that
absolutely.
opportunity. I get that. They
Yep.
they don't have the opportunity. Like I said in my radio program on my daily program yesterday, I'm swathing millet yesterday, right? And the antelope are literally 50 yards away from me, and they have no problem with my swather going up and down in the field. That's how I'm doing my antelope scouting this year.
Yep.
And a lot of people will sit all dressed up in camouflage on a hill with bipods and their spotting scope, and I'm doing it from fencing or cutting millet or baling or doing something on horseback. And I'm the bad guy because I'm doing it in a motorized vehicle of some sort.
Well, I've always said if you want to know where the animals are at, talk to the landowner, talk to the rancher. They're out there every day, and those animals react to you. If I drove by those antelope in my pickup, they'd be in
They'd
the
be
next
gone.
county. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, like I said, it's one of those deals that you know your own land, you know the lay of it, you know where the animals are at. You got other landowners around you that border you and see your animals on your place and may help you out and say, "Hey, I saw one over on your quarter over there," and because they're out there every day. And that's like I said, Jim Shockey said it. You want to shoot a trophy, the more time you spend in the field, the better chance is.
Yeah. And the more time you're a good neighbor, better your chances.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things working together, and we've kind of lost that in our world today. It seems like everybody competes against everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we need to work together. We only have 2.5 minutes before the end of the program here. Some of the things that concern me. Let's see here. This is the National Sheriff's Association joined forces with HSUS, and we have to talk to our local sheriffs now to see if they're part of this or not.
Absolutely.
What's going
I mean,
on? Why are people joining these extreme groups? And they know that their rural community thrives on egg and hunting, and the HSUS wants nothing to do but take that away.
Like I said, I have no idea. I mean, it's got to be a sheriff department somewhere. I don't know who's all joining. I can't imagine that the North Dakota guys are
South
doing it
Dakota
because
or
they're
any
not
of these guys would do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going to be within their jobs very long if they do something like that.
Well, you wouldn't think
and,
so, but you never know.
and again, everybody's got their own personal beliefs, and if you want to, again, it's like being an athlete and protesting. Do it outside of sports. If you're a sheriff and you're against hunting, do it outside of your job. That's not your job. And we don't need to see that. We don't need that organization. You have your own personal thing. Do it on your own time.
Yeah. No. To end the show on a fun note, if you go onto the Facebook page and go to Bowman County Sheriff, go to Bowman County Sheriff's page.
Okay.
Okay. There was a mountain lion walking through the town of Bowman, North Dakota yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Just walking down the street, man. Just hanging out, according to that post. Okay, and I take it because Sheriff Eberly is he's a friend of mine, so I don't doubt him. But you see that, and it's like we forget mountain lion season on the North Dakota side is open right now. And we forget to talk about that because we don't really discuss that. South Dakota doesn't start until the end of December. But you got the Black Hills of South Dakota. You got the Badlands of North Dakota. You have all the highway in between with the rivers and the cattle and everything else. I guarantee there's mountain lions in between, John. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, we had one, just a few years ago behind our house.
Yeah. But you live on the Missouri River. I mean, that's the
They travel there.
highway.
Yep.
You know, they got water, they got food and trees, man. What else would you like for a big cat, right?
No, exactly.
So, well, hey, man, as always, I appreciate you coming on to the radio program and helping out here on a Saturday and taking the time on your Saturday, which is hard during the hunting season to find people that want to take a Saturday morning and come on and talk hunting because they're usually out doing it.
Well,
And,
I'm kind of half and half. I'm just scouting.
Scouting's all right, though. You got to get out and do that, too. But, hey, man, appreciate it. Ultimate Outdoor
bet. Thank
Adventures TV, John Arman. You can find him all across. You can just search him anywhere on the social media except TikTok because John doesn't. We're waiting for him to get in on that stuff.
No TikTok and no Snapchat.
No TikTok, no Snapchat. Thanks, John. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. Dakota Prairie Outdoors daily show can be heard on all these radio stations plus more. And if you'd like to find it online, you can do that at dakotaprairieoutdoors.com. Thanks for tuning in. Eat some meat, drink some milk. Have yourself a great weekend. All right, stations, thank you. Appreciate it. John, again, thanks, man. I appreciate you hanging in there for me.
Oh, absolutely. And I did see one deer.
One deer in an hour.
Yeah, one mule deer.
That's they're just not out there this year, man. I know the game and fish can say what they want. They can argue with me till the cows come home, but they're not out there this year.
Like I said, they're definitely not the same numbers. That's for sure.
No. And whatever they did on their flyovers and they counted that they increased the tags, I want to sit with that guy. I want him to do my accounting because at the end of the year, I must make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
No,
and
I don't see it.
How do you do a flyover the whole state of North Dakota?
They do it in grids.
Well, okay,
but
I mean,
don't
just
know.
to do one quarter of North Dakota would have to take with grids because if you're in a plane, and you got two guys looking, I mean, you can see maybe a couple 100 yards. You know, I mean, it's got to be, unless there's snow on the ground, it's got to be pretty tough.
I would think so too, and that's probably why they fly so low, is they're trying to spook them out.
Yeah,
which in my mind, that's harassing animals.
Yeah, well, I know last year it happened, or I called in.
It happens every damn year.
Yeah.
Wait until you get a population of elk in your backyard, John, and they fly low enough and they wreck down fences and everything, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't do that," and I have them on video, and they won't come on my radio program because I have them on video, and they call me a liar.
Guess what I saw last night? I forgot to say that Nope, I saw a cow and a calf drinking out of my water hole.
Elk?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've had a bull on camera. I mean, again, I like seeing them. I don't want them here. Not unless they populate enough in 1 year for me to get a tag and then leave.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that.
I know. And I have about as much chance of getting one as you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, man, I got to get dressed up here and head to the auction.
Hey, thanks,
catch you later. You bet. Thanks, John.
All right, man. Have a great day.
You too. See ya. YouTube, thanks everybody for hanging with me. Appreciate it. Just have a good weekend. Be safe out there.